Alright, so in this video we're going to be just looking at how to choose the correct trig formula. So we won't be doing any specific examples, but we're just going to look at some of the wording and some of the setup of certain questions to help you go, that's the area formula, that's the sine formula, or that's the cosine formula. So to start off with, how to recognise area of a triangle. This is the easiest one of them all. The key thing is, this formula is to find the area. So that's the sort of things we want to be looking out for. So in this first one up on the top left, we have a diagram that shows a triangle PQR. PR has 45 centimetres, PQ has 70 centimetres, angle QPR equals 129 degrees. Calculate the area of the triangle. The moment I see that word area, I instantly go, that is my area of a triangle formula. Write it down and start processing it. And then same again down here towards the bottom right. So paving stones on the shape of a rhombus. Each side of the rhombus is 40 centimetres long. The obtuse angle is 110 degrees. Find the area of one paving stone. And keeping an eye out that with our rhombus we can split it up as two triangles like so. And this last one down here. So this one's a little bit different, where we've got ABC is an isosceles triangle with angle ACB equals 30 degrees. AC equals BC equals X centimetres. The area of the triangle ABC is 9 square centimetres. Calculate the value of X. Now, in this case, we are not being asked to find the area of the triangle. However, we do have a triangle, we've got an angle, we've got some lengths that are missing, and we are still told about the area. So the fact that I would see that makes me go, okay, it's one of our trig formula and it has to be the area of a triangle trig because we are given some information about the area. All you have to do is rearrange it to get the AB on its own. So that's our area of a triangle one, dead straightforward. All you want to do is just look out for that word area. The moment you see that, it's this formula here. So our cosine rule. So you're given it in two forms. You're given it as a side, which is that a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. Or you're given it for finding the angle, where it's cos a equals b squared plus c squared minus a squared all over 2bc. So the key thing you want to sort of look out for is, for this first formula here, you are always looking out for finding the third side. And for this formula here, you'll be given three sides. And so the key thing that you want to pay attention to is looking to see if you either are finding the third side or you have three sides. The moment you've got that information, you know it's going to be cosine rule. So for example, on the first one on this top left hand side here, we know this side here, we know this side here. We are being asked to find the length of QR. So there we have the third side being found. So that means it is going to be our a squared equals. For the next one, we know three of our sides and we're being asked to find an angle. And because there's all three sides known, it's that cos A formula. And then for the last one, calculate the length of AB. Well, again, we know one side, we know the second side, and we are being asked to find the third side. So that means it is our cosine rule. Okay. And then the last one, two different ways you sort of can go about with this is you can either do it by process of elimination. If it's not your area formula, if it's not the cosine formula, it is your sine rule. And that is my preference on how to identify it. I go through going not the area, not cosine, therefore it has to be sine. However, if you were wanting to look out for a pattern or information you're given, you're generally wanting to look out for being given 2 and a 1. So, e.g. two sides, one angle, or two angles and one side, and then being asked to find the second one. So for example, for this one here, being asked to find the second angle, and this one here being asked to find a second side. So if you are wanting to look out for something a bit more specific with sine rule, it's look for that 2 and a 1. And the other thing to remember is in this form, which you are given, that's for finding the side. So that A over sine A equals B over sine B equals C over sine C. Or if you're wanting to find the angle, you have to flip it. So remember, if you're finding the angle, you just flip the whole thing upside down to have sine B at the top. And the sine A, sine B, and sine C. But you need to remember that. So taking a look at this one here, so I'm going to talk about it in both methods. One, the process of elimination, and then also the 2 and the 1. So reading through, stepladder has legs 150 centimeters and 140 centimeters long. When a stepladder is fully open, the angle between the longer leg and the ground is 66 degrees. Calculate x degrees, the size of the angle between the shorter leg and the ground. So the first thing I go is, right, there's no mention of the word area, so it's definitely not my area formula. I have two of my sides, but I'm not being asked to find the third side, so that means it's not the cosine rule, and therefore that leaves my sine rule left over. Or if I'm looking for the 2 and the 1, I've got two sides and one angle, and I'm being asked to find the second angle. Okay. And then this next one here, now this is actually a non-calculator question, so it's a little bit weirder, but let's just have a look quickly. So we have in triangle KLM, KM equals 18 centimeters, sine K equals 0.4. So what's that essentially saying is sine whatever this angle here is 0.4, and sine L equals 0.9. So sine this angle is 0.9. Calculate the length of LM. So again, by elimination, there's no mention of the word area, so that's not going to work. And then we have one side, and that's it in terms of information, so it's definitely not cosine rule. And so that leaves sine rule left. But if I was to do it by the 2 and the 1, I know two of my angles, I know one side, and I want to find the second side. So it's going to be my sine rule there. I hope that's helped clear up how to identify which formula you need to use. This is probably one of the hardest parts about it, but once you get in the habit of looking for those key things, the word area for area of a triangle, three sides, either finding it or you have all three for cosine, and then sine rule, looking for that 2 and a 1 and being asked to find the second one of the part where you only have one. Let me know if you have any issues, and good luck with the work.